Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek. And for the next 2 weeks, things are a little crazy, like this weekend, next week. So we're just gonna do I just hate the word quickies because I'm immature, but I'm gonna call them quickies. And Chris, this week's quickie is top five, no, yeah, bottom five ancillary Avatar: The Last Airbender things. Licensed Avatar: The Last Airbender media, so real license, not fan stuff. That somebody approved this for whatever reason, and it is not the main animated series. It's not the Avatar: The Last Airbender animated series, and it's not the Legend of Korra animated series. It's something else. It's officially licensed, and this week it is bad things. Did I miss any important notes there? We got this. We got started on this because we were talking about the bad Avatar Switch game, and I found this horrible looking plug and play thing that looked really bad. But then last week we talked about a mobile game, which at this time I can't comment on because it's actually recording in the future because podcasting is weird. And yeah, so I was talking about bad stuff. So Chris, do you want to snake it like normal?
Absolutely.
I'll start first because my first one is cheating. I actually had trouble coming up with a fifth really distinct one because I've grouped some things. If I didn't group things, it wouldn't be hard, but I grouped some things. So my fifth one, I put an asterisk and I put Chris's least favorite comics. That's how much faith I have in your judgment in comics, is that if you say the bad ancillary comics are bad, I'll believe you. It's just, I didn't want to separate out all the bundles of games that we will get into pretty shortly. So I cheated.
Yeah, that's definitely a cheat. I wonder, should I use this? No, because I just kind of enjoy that. My fifth one, which I just came up with because I thought I had five, and I realized I only had four. It is. I have it
So
somewhere
I
over
cheated,
here.
but at
But
least I cheated to the fifth actual degree, Chris. Jeez.
my fifth is there's an Avatar. I don't even know the name for it. Avatar GameCube game.
Burning
I'm sorry,
Earth,
not GameCube.
something,
Burning.
something.
It's a Wii game. Sorry. Yeah, Avatar. It might be called Burning Earth. That's also bad.
I don't remember the names. There's three of them. And Chris, I'm just going to step in here and tell you my fourth, because my fourth, I put the 6th/7th gen games. So weirdly enough, not the game based on the Shyamalan movie. That is not a bottom five. It's not good. I would never tell anybody to go play
Oh,
it, but it's not the most horrible thing you've ever played. So I put the 6th gen games. There's three of them. There's two on GameCube, one on Wii, and then they all came out on PS2. And it's the Burning Earth, Into the Inferno, and maybe the other one is just called Avatar: The Last Airbender. And
I might have Into the Inferno.
I just want to say that they're not offensively bad. They're just like your really cut and dried cash grab. Like, what's the simplest game we can make to sort of put these characters' faces on? And it's sort of a lame beat 'em up with light puzzle elements to it, and it's just very lazy. That's all. They're not unplayably bad or anything. They're just, you would never play them if you liked video games. You would only play them if you were tricked into it because you liked Avatar.
Hmm.
That's my number four pick. That feels appropriate. All three of them.
My now to the part of the list that I am very, very confident in, which is, this is might be controversial, but some of these are just because they disappointed me the most. The first one is The Promise, which is a comic book. It's a comic book that takes place right after the TV show. Like, it picks up literally with Katara and Aang's kiss. I think the thing that it just felt like an appendix to the animated series. Like, hey, this is just stuff that you can look in if you want some additional data. And then Zuko regresses, which I know it's fine that Zuko regresses some in his growth. but I was kind of over the regression. It's not that he went bad. He was just like in confrontation with Aang and them. I kind of under it. It gets better the more I read it. The more times I go back and I look at it, but it definitely wasn't what I was expecting for the first comic to be after the animated series wrapped.
Understandable. Well, see, that's my number 5 pick right there. There you have it, folks. Number 3. My number 3. I watched somebody play 20 minutes of that plug and play game, Chris. And it looks.
Wow.
It looks.
Why would you even watch that much?
I couldn't take my eyes away. So as far as like being a game that works, right, and isn't just broken, like, okay, it did that, but the graphics looked like worse than Super Nintendo, and it's a plug and play, and it's just it's only got mono sound, and the plug and play, the toy itself, the physical toy looks bad, etc., etc. So that immediately shot up my list. I wanted to put it higher. I just couldn't justify going any higher for something I've never held in my hands or seen in person. But it looks real bad, and I'm ashamed that we've never made fun of it before until like this week.
Okay. My number 3 is the Quest for Balance video game. It's the most disappointing thing about that is that it's current gen, and it should not be that bad. It is on the level of movie video games made in the mid 2000s on the GameCube, and it's so disappointing because this is like one of the projects coming from Avatar Studios. It's hard to say if it did or not, but it's one of the things coming out in the era of Avatar Studios, and it was really disappointing.
I put that as my number 2. I haven't played it because I refuse to spend more than, I think I said $19.99, and I've only seen it digital for $19.99. But from reviews and your description, and just the fact that it should be so straightforward to make a good Avatar: The Last Airbender game, it should be so straightforward. It's infuriating. So I put Quest for Balance as my number 2.
Nice. You already did your number 3? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was the horrible plug and play.
All right. So, my number 2. Again, this might be... I'm combining some. So this is might be a little controversial. But the comic books of, like, Suki Alone, Cosmo Metal Bene Academy, and the Katara and the Pirate Silver thing or whatever, like... It's more so disappointing because the comics have kind of stalled, and these are like indicative of that. Like they're like almost vignettes from Tales of Ba Sing Se. Like they're so small and they're so inconsequential, but they're also just not good. And like they to me they don't serve really any purpose at all, and I don't care for them. Those aren't things I go back and I read. I read them once, and I have no intention of going back, which is interesting because I didn't lump the Azula one in there. I like the Azula one.
That was the most recent one that we looked at, right?
Yeah.
I liked that for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, but those other 3 just did absolutely nothing for me. And also, I really hate the end of the Suki Alone one because it breaks my brain on the rules of the Avatar state, because Avatar Kyoshi visits her in prison, which makes it seem like any of the Avatar spirits can just wander wherever they want, and they're not even connected to the Avatar. And I feel like these stories aren't canon at all. And someone was just like, oh, it'd be cool if Avatar Kyoshi visited Suki, because it's like a lineage thing, and I don't like it.
Very understandable. Is it safe to say we both have the same number 1 thing?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a Shyamalan movie, and that's the number 1 worst ancillary thing, and I didn't think too long about that one.
Yeah, that was easy make there. Interesting enough, though, something ancillary to that ancillary Avatar thing
The
is
video game that's not disgustingly horrible.
no, I actually enjoyed this book here.
What is it?
It is a comic, but it's in the manga kind of form, based off of inspired by the summer blockbuster directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It is the it is the um entitled, or wait, it is the what would you call this exactly?
I don't know. It's a backwards slice. I
Company
can't read it.
is backwards.
Right. I guess I don't have your video mirrored or whatever.
Oh, okay. It's a companion novel. Anyway, it's a comic book that uh goes over the Zuko from the movie, his his story right before the movie starts. So it's like, what did he do? You know,
I said something nice
he
about
goes,
the video game, and you said something nice about the book. Look, see it. The movie inspired things better than the movie. Good for it.
you know what's interesting? According to this, he comes across. I've been so full disclosure. I haven't read this since I was. I remember. I remember when this came out, and I bought it, and I read it in the car. I was with my mom, which is weird because I was like 21 years old at that point. But I remember reading it like really fast, but I don't remember really anything in it. But apparently, Zuko comes across someone who's the Blue Spirit, like someone who's.
It's
Like, I know you
not
can't
him.
tell. Yeah, it's not him. Like this person here is Zuko. And that's the person dressed as the Blue Spirit. But yeah, I've forgotten so much of this.
You've never brought that up to the best of my knowledge until today. That's kind of wild. Hey.
Oh, and it's about him like getting his boat and stuff together, and his crew. I don't know. I liked it when I first read it. Like it got me excited for the film, and then the film happened, and yeah.
Well, like I said, we both said something nice about the film indirectly. That's something. Good for us.
I weirdly feel like reading this now.
I kind of do too, actually. Oddly.
But this is my copy. This is not like something like I kept this.
Yeah, so nobody sent you a freebie of that for being famous. I got really excited the other day when you said the publishers were going to send us the next novel, the Roku novel. I got pretty excited. Makes me feel famous.
Huh?
I wonder if it will make me feel more or less famous than having a representative from a game publisher on a podcast. I wonder what level of famous those two things, how that compares.
I would say that getting free novels is more famous.
I do like free things. I do like free things a lot.
Things now I got to end with Abrams' books. Like if I'm ever like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go into marketing books for some reason because that's a job that someone has.
Somebody's got.
Maybe I can get in.
Or is that
maybe
just,
I can get in. Also,
is that just a list that Oprah makes? Is that the only book marketer out there?
Oh, I mean, publishing companies, I'm sure, have their own marketers and stuff. Sure, that's what the lady who I talked to is. I think she's a manager of something or another.
Did she get promoted in that time? Right, like she originally had signed her name one way, and then the next time it was a different way or something.
Yeah. Shout out to her.
She went from captain to admiral to lieutenant.
Yeah.
I
think her name is Patricia.
Avatar reference there for you. Well, thanks for bearing with us for a couple weeks while we're traveling and doing wild stuff. And next week we'll do the five best ancillary things, which will probably be more interesting or more diverse, I would guess. So come back next time for that. And if you didn't already, watch our video from last week where we chatted with somebody from the publishing company from the new mobile game. So go listen to that and like and comment, thumbs up, subscribe, bell, other things that I forget what they're called. Positive reviews. And we appreciate it all. Thank you so much for your interactions. And we will see you next time.
Don't know what that was.
I don't know. It sounded good enough to me.